Hey, welcome back to another episode of Instagram Podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and as always, my co-host is here with me. Hey, Trip.
Bonjour.
How you doing, man?
I'm so fucking rad.
Yeah, you're pretty good.
I'm the coolest skater in town.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
if you got anything to say to me, then say it to my face right now on the podcast.
You're not the coolest skater in town.
Fuck.
You're like the second coolest skater in town.
Fuck.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
All right, well, that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, you know.
That's how cool I am. I'm not, offended by somebody being better than me. Hey, this week we're talking about the Tatami Galaxy. This whole show is going to be about that, and I'm very excited about it. I'm
cool. So glad you're excited.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Cool.
Thanks.
Hey, man, where are we? What's going on?
So check this out.
Mm-hmm.
You remember back in last week's episode when we were at Pine Tree, the old place I used to work?
Yeah.
The old place I used to live?
Mm-hmm.
We're not there anymore.
It's crazy.
We moved up.
You sent me an address.
Upstairs, somewhere else, across town.
You just sent me an address like, be here at 7. I was like, okay, man.
Be here. Yeah. And anyways, so after you cross down the dark alley, you have to crawl through a couple of little pipelines. Once you make it through there, you just raise up the grate, crawl on out, and then jump down. Mm-hmm. And then you take the slide.
Yeah.
And then you drive here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you live in a very weird place that you have to go through that reverse. You have to climb up the slide and whatnot to get to your apartment.
I live in the abyss, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Made in Abyss. That's where I live. No, yeah, so you got a new job, which entailed a new apartment.
Yeah, that's the deal.
Today we checked out your digs. Well, I checked it out today for the first time.
Well, I was checking it out for the second time. You know, I've only stayed here 3 days, so this is the second time.
And the coolest thing is also you live by yourself now.
Oh yeah, I'm a loner now. Mm-hmm. So anyways, it's just me and the ghosts.
And your cat.
Who?
Jennifer, the cat.
Oh no, she's not mine.
She just ends up.
The ghosts took her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Gone. No. So you don't have a roommate for a couple months because
just a hot minute. Yeah.
Sierra's moving in.
Sierra is moving in. I have ended the reign of Joshua, as we have called it from this point on. The reign of Joshua.
Reign of Joshua. Yeah. I like that we're going to call it's the reign of Joshua because none of us call him Joshua.
No, none of us at all. The other week I was playing games with Eliza and Kyle, and I guess I was packing shit up, and Josh decided he was moving in with Leandra. I don't remember what it was, but I watched Attack on Titan with him. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I was watching that with him, and then I was playing games with them later, and they were like, what took so long? I'm like, I was just eating and watching, and it was a good time. Don't worry about it. And then I kept saying, it's the end of an era, man. Yeah. It's really the end of an era. Yeah, just because.
I don't feel like he was as choked up as you were, though.
Oh, no.
He's like, whatever.
Well, that's how I was, too.
He says that now, but when I walked in, guys, he was crying. He's just, Josh, what happened to Josh's ID? Did he just take it with him?
Oh, that was his old ID. No fucking clue.
Damn, I really wanted to keep that. I thought it'd be funny.
You should have.
Fuck. Anyways, I mean, you live and you learn, I guess. But yeah. So as of now, your new apartment's super cool looking.
Yeah.
It's really nice,
But it comes at a price.
Free.
Oh, no. I didn't mean like money wise. I didn't mean a monetary value.
Your sanity.
No, sanity's also doing good. It's my anime watching.
Oh, yeah. You have no TV.
Haven't had a TV. Been TV-less for over a week now.
It's kind of crazy. Your TV clean for a week.
It's the darkest timeline. Right now, I am living that deep, dark life.
It's that Steins Gate Zero timeline.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Hey, good reference to an anime I can't watch.
I can't watch it. I mean, I can. I just haven't.
I can. I'm not going to. We'll get into why I'm not going to.
For sure.
Until Thursday, which is when I get my new TV. Yeah.
How big is it? 70-something inches?
75 inches. I was thinking about going for an 82-inch, which Sierra said is Juan size.
Right, because I'm 6'1", and apparently that's about
the same. Whatever, fuck it.
Yeah.
But I decided not to on account of my homie Brandon, who was telling me a little bit about some TVs since he's the head of the theater department at Best Buy. He was explaining to me that the Juan size TV is actually worse than the 75er.
Yeah,
which is fucking enormous, by the way.
It looks bigger, but but it's shittier. So
yeah, I guess there's a tracking system in it where it does motion tracking. So anything on the screen that's not moving doesn't get updated, and it only updates the thing that is moving, which allows you to see it more clearly. So the example he had was a train going by that has words on it. He showed two TVs side by side. The one with motion tracking, you could read all the words on it, and the one without, it's a little bit blurry. So it's like you could still read it, but it's a little bit blurry.
I thought it's like a little bit blurry, but like how fast is a train? If it's fast
enough to party,
if it's fast enough, shouldn't you not be able to see the words unless like you're superhuman?
Yeah, essentially what I'm trying to say is this TV is making me become more human than human, man.
Nice.
It's nuts.
Well,
so I'm down.
So no TV.
No TV.
New job, roommate. No roommate.
Yeah.
Nice apartment though, so
fucking rad. The ceilings for days. I don't know if you guys can hear this echo, but it really makes me feel like I'm in a cathedral right now.
Yeah, the edit's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna go in and be like, boop boop. All right, done.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane.
It's gonna be nuts.
So you said you had like a story you want to tell me, so let's get to it.
All right, so it was the middle of the day.
Today. Okay.
The middle of the day, and there was this woman who was having problems with her light bulbs.
Okay.
Essentially her light bulbs weren't working in her bathroom, and over the phone we were like, hey, have you tried replacing them? And she's like, no, it's not, the light's just not working. And we're like, but did you try replacing them? She's like, of course I tried replacing them. So we're like, okay, well, hey, maintenance guy, you're probably going to have to replace the switch because it seems like it's not working. There's like some kind of electrical problem with it. Anyways, he goes in there and he's like, the other light in here is working. There are two lights tied to one switch and one of them's working. So it's not the switch. Have you tried replacing the light bulbs? And she's like, no, I haven't tried that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So he gets new light bulbs and he fixes that, which first off, that's the first thing that clues me into this bitch cray, right? She's super old, by the way. She's like hella elderly.
Yeah.
And now we're getting to the point where it's like kind of sad.
Okay.
Because they're so old. They're whack as fuck.
Yeah.
Which at first it's just like, I don't know, dumb bitch, lazy, who gives a fuck, whatever it is. And he's like, well, no need to get new bulbs now, but like next time, now, I guess, whatever. Anyways, so you want to turn your cold water on to your washing machine. And she's like, yes, because this crazy bitch wanted it turned off so she could only use hot water on her clothes for whatever reason. She just wanted that to be the case.
That was like, the only option was hot water.
That's all she wanted. So he turned off that cold water valve a while ago. Now he's being called out to turn it back on. So he's like, all right, I'll come over and I'll turn it on. And he's like, all right, now it's on for you. And she's like, I didn't want it on. And he's like, okay.
Well, then why was I sent out here?
I'm going to turn it off for you then. She's like, but I don't want it off.
What does she want?
Right? And he's like, okay, well, I could turn it on for you or off for you. Those are really the only options here. Like, he doesn't know what to do. He's just fucking baffled that somebody would be like, no, the other one that I already said I don't want. Like, okay. And she's like, well, I want to be able to turn it on or off whenever I want. And he's like, you can. You just have to turn it. Like, I'm doing it for you. You just turn it. And she's just like, I can't reach it and it's awkward and I can't do it. I'm too frail to do that. And he's like, okay, well then your best option is just to leave it on because you don't have to use it when it's on. It just allows it
to be used.
Yeah. So fucking crazy lady's just like, okay, well I guess that's what we got to do.
She's like,
really, but mostly
she's like rubbing her hand like, well, if those are the only options.
She was just having such a hard time with it. But she's like, no, but I don't want it on. And like the argument went on for a while, right? And he's just like, this is what we have. Look, what do you want to do? We have two options. These are the ones. There's nothing in between. And then he goes on to explain, okay, yeah, I understand that you think that it works like a sink where you have the option of hot water or cold water, but it's a little bit different than that. You tell the machine what to do.
Exactly.
And she's just not getting it. She's like, no, it won't do that. The water's not hot enough. The water's not hot enough. In fact, that when I had the cold water turned off, it wasn't hot enough. So I needed to get the hot water from the sink to use it on my laundry. I was so tired doing all of my laundry yesterday, taking the hot water from the sink and putting it in the washing machine. I don't know what to do. I was exhausted and I can't keep doing that. The hot water's not hot enough. As I'm sitting in the office listening to the maintenance guy tell me all this, and I'm sitting there like rubbing my head like, what the fuck? This is going to be shit that I'm going to have to deal with. Like, I'm already knowing she's going to call back and be like, my hot water isn't hot enough. And also, I don't want cold water. It's like, all right, you fucking. So it's a whole fucking thing going on. And he's standing there and he's like, and at this point, I had to step back and I almost yelled at her. I was almost yelling at her at this point, but I had to calm myself as much as possible. And he's like, man, I wish I could have just stepped out and had a joint right then. I'm like, oh, damn, maintenance guy. Like, all right. And he's like, is it 4:20 yet? Because god damn it, that was... Whoo! He was so fucking mad. And the whole time he's telling me, I'm just like so frustrated. Like, do you want it on or off? Who the fuck puts water in your fucking washing machine?
That's crazy for her to think. I mean, I get, that she wants only hot water when she does her thing, but like, that's the machine does that. You flip the switch and go,
and she won't
want
listen.
it hot.
Yeah.
Or you flip the switch and go, I want it cold. Or sometimes there's even machines that have like, warm, and they'll mix hot and cold water together.
And I have the same washing machine she has. It has cold, cold, cool, cold, warm, cool, warm, hot.
Wow, it's got like more than...
It has so many goddamn settings. And she's just like, not gonna do it. No, thank you.
I love how she called her out, turned it on, and be like, I didn't want it on. He's like, okay, well, turn it on. I was like, well, I don't want it off. Like, what do you fucking want, man?
Oh man, so that's where it gets to the point where it's like, you know what? She's so old, she doesn't fucking understand what she's doing. But also, listen to your fucking maintenance guy. That's like, it works. It's
fine. Yeah, it sucks, man. Well, that is a pretty funny story.
It's fucking. I didn't know what to do. I was at work and I'm just like, I don't have anything to say. I do not understand the situation. I don't know. It was whack.
Sorry.
That's my fun work story.
Cool. Oh, gross.
Thank you.
Let's see. I don't have a job, so I don't have a work story.
Oh, but hey, you did something pretty big this week. What'd you do?
School started.
Oh, that's what you did. You started school for the first time. Welcome.
for the last time, actually, is my last semester. No, my second to last semester.
Whatever.
So it's my last year of school. So we have our classes or whatever. Our department, like my major department, got we have more students now enrolling. So I think we have like a total of 300 students, which is a lot.
That's a decent amount, yeah.
For the major that we're in.
Yeah, art, animation, game development, all that shit.
Exactly.
That's working together, yeah.
For sure. So we've only ever had 2 labs, and they're both full computer labs, and for every class it's in one of those 2 rooms. So this year we got a new room.
What's that?
A new room.
Okay.
To have like an extra class in there.
Gotcha.
To have to split up the classes more, so you're not just like stuck in one lab or the other or whatever.
Yeah, so you have just extra class.
Exactly. Scheduling could be like a little more open, as opposed to being like, I need this class. Cool. There's only 2 rooms now. There's 3 rooms. The only issue is that this classroom has no computers.
Okay.
Which is kind of funny because like, how do you do a major where you're like, working on the computer without computers.
Yeah.
So it's like essentially just a classroom with, and you have to bring your own, laptop, which is fine. So because it's part of the major to have a laptop to like do your work or whatever. But what was it super? So that's what I knew going into this new semester, new room, no computers in it. We just have to bring our laptop, which is fine. I have a laptop.
Yeah. I mean, at least you have like somewhere to work with people that are doing the same thing. So
my first class is
something good.
My first class is mocap. I get in there and Trip, I shit you not. The classroom is like a closet. And there is like, I want to say 20 or 30 people in this room, and there's not enough chairs for everybody. And we're just all sitting there like sardines, and we're just looking around like, are you like it? I want to say it's maybe, your room is a pretty good size for a room.
Yeah, it's decent.
Add another like room to it. And that's how big this classroom was. And it was like, there's 30 kids in there and tables and chairs. It was horrible. And like our teacher goes in there and he like, the class starts and he goes,
you could fit maybe 3 rows that go pretty far.
No, we have 3 tables, and like, it's like people are just surrounded around these 3 tables because our major just gets this shit in the stick all the time. Anyways.
I mean, yeah. So our teacher comes in and he literally just starts, he goes, look guys, if you're trying to add this class, get the fuck out. There's no way I'm adding anybody to this class. So people, a couple people leave. He goes, okay, second of all, this is mocap.
this is not enough room to do mocap. We have no computers in here. You need a laptop. You don't have a laptop? Get out. So it's like, okay, it dwindles down a little bit more. And he goes,
wow.
He goes, okay, cool. Next, the mocap room, which is like an actual room that we have with like cameras set up, which is maybe the half the size of this current room. Okay. Is in the other lab across the hallway. Okay,
so you have a further room that's essentially the size of like a bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's across the hallway, and we can't get into it for the first hour of our class because another class is currently using that classroom, like that computer lab. So it's a whole hour of in this tiny closet for an hour. Then we can finally go into this other room for another hour. And it's not enough time, and it's just a whole mess, right? Everybody's super miserable. And our teacher he goes, look, guys, unless you need this class to graduate like this semester or the next, just take another semester. And I was like, well, I'm kind of stuck here because I want to graduate on time. So that's pretty shitty.
Well, the good news is you're going to graduate on time.
Yeah, that's true.
The other good news is motion capture is pretty important. So this is going to be a good thing for you.
But I might be able to get away with not doing motion capture. So which I would be pretty happy to do because I don't want to be in that classroom.
Oh, yeah. What are you going to do instead?
Do an internship.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Are there...
no, there aren't.
Okay. No. the question that I was going to ask for anyone.
Yeah.
Are there internships in town?
And the answer is no.
Yeah, definitely. I like how you're just immediately like, I've looked into it. There's nothing. We are doomed.
What's funny is like, no, there aren't any real like, animation or game development internships here in Chico. But I do know a guy who is looking for someone to start working on some sort of animation project.
Right. So you've kind of told me a little bit about this.
So I personally have acquired an internship that it's for sure solid. But there aren't internships in Chico. Like it's like,
so this is just a fake thing that you're doing.
No. It's for sure an internship.
Yeah, no, a totally fake thing.
No. It's for sure an internship. The thing is, it's like, it's not like an industry. Like I'm not working for like Nickelodeon or like, it's
right.
It's like a really small studio, and it's two other guys, and it's like, look, we need you to do this. And I'm like, cool. I'm going to talk to my teachers, and I'm going to see if I can pitch it and make them see it's worth internship credits. And if it is, then cool, fuck mocap, and I'll do that instead.
Yeah. So in this, let's say that you do this internship instead. What exactly are you doing? How much animation? How much drawing? What's
their idea is to make like some sort of show where like they have really cool action scenes or whatever. Because what they are is video editors. It's like So they have really good action scenes and stuff, but they want these inanimate objects to have faces. So I'd be doing all the facial animations for things, and like me doing all the, in quotations, like character drawings, because the characters are going to be eyes and mouths and nose and chin and stuff like that. So, because it's just facial animation on other existing objects and stuff like that. So it is animation. It is concept art. And I'm also technically allowed to, because I talked to the guy, like he would allow me to help write scripts and, direct scripts. So can be considered part of the industry. The thing is I have to convince the head of my department.
The industry.
Yeah. To be like, hey, this is a part of the industry. Because like I said, it's not like a well-known name in animation to be like, oh, cool, you got a job with Disney? Yeah, fucking write it off or whatever you're in.
Easy peasy, yeah.
Which is like impossible for me to get, so... Yeah, so fingers crossed, because I really don't want to do this mocap thing. But if I can't, then I'm fucked with mocap. Besides that, I played basketball on Saturday.
Ooh.
And I played 4 games. I won them all. I was killing it. And then we had to go to Dave & Buster's in Roseville. And I was driving because Sierra was the one that got to drink.
She was getting fucked up.
She was a designated drinker for Leandra's birthday dinner kind of thing.
Yeah, going away birthday.
Yeah, so I drove out there. It's like an hour and a half, right? Something like that.
Yeah, roughly an hour and a half, yeah.
So my back started hurting a lot. And then after having a whole night of being on our feet, playing, games, I drove another hour and a half back.
Ooh, big mood. Ugh.
And my back is just so hurting. I feel like such an old bitch. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, you get older, your body doesn't work the way it used to. I don't think I hurt myself like really bad. Like it's not oh, you've like dislocated something or like tore this. It's more like
just general pain.
It just really hurts.
Hey man, you should go get a back massage. You should go get a full body massage.
I'll think about it.
Legit, it's one of those things that going like forever ago, I realized I'm fucking good at giving people massages. Neck massage. Yeah. I don't know if
Really?
we talked about this.
No, we haven't. No.
Great. Neck, head, shoulders, back,
knees and toes,
hands, arms, whatever. I'm good at it. I've never really done too many leg massages or like foot massages or whatever.
It's my lower back that hurts.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I could take care of your lower back.
Really?
But what I'm saying is, I'm not very comfortable with touching other people.
What?
Yeah, I'm really good at it.
You're rubbing up on me right now.
Back in high school, I like learned some good techniques and stuff worked out pretty good.
Who do you learn techniques on if you don't touch anybody?
Enough people.
What?
I was different during high school. Let's put it that way.
Weirdo, yeah.
Yeah, and as I got older, I became less and less comfortable with like touching people and got further and further apart. And now I kind of have my own like bubble thing going on.
Cool.
But
I'm burning, Trip.
I never had the money for.
Trip, I had pain. Trip.
I never had the money for a massage when I was in high school, which I would have loved to have done at that point. But I didn't have the money. I'm not going to waste some money on that when I like, you know what? I'm young and spry and whatever. I don't have any pain anyways. It's just kind of nice. And then I got to the point where I'm an adult and I was achy all over and like kind of sick feeling. And then one of my friends was like, you should go and try to get a massage. And I'm like, listen, man, like I have the money for it and I've thought about that, but I just don't like the idea of people touching me and it just seems weird and uncomfortable. And then they're like, nah, man, fuck that. Go do it. So then after I was done being sick and my body was still achy and sore and whatnot, went and got a massage. Felt like so much better than I had in the past like 3 years.
Yeah.
It was fucking incredible. Highly recommend massages. This is just going to be like a giant plug for masseuses everywhere.
So to wrap this up, you will not be touching me because you refuse to touch people.
Pretty much.
Second of all, how are you on cracking people's backs? You want to get?
I'm not a cracker. Never been a cracker.
God, you see, thing is,
I got the form for cracking, but I don't
that's
have
exactly it. Because like I'm a bigger guy, so I remember like when I was younger, my dad would crack my back. You know, because like he's a big dude, or my brother would. And the bigger I got, the older I got.
No expertise.
The number of people that can crack my back has just dwindled to no one, right?
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, cool. Trip's like what, 6'4", 6'5"?
Yeah, 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, you're up there. You know, you're a big dude. I was like, cool. He definitely cracked me. But I had this inkling, this idea. You know,
you just had this feeling.
This feeling that it was just like,
feeling.
And he was like, you know what? I bet you he doesn't know how to do it. I bet you he's just.
I mean, I get the whole deal. You know, I'm just like, cross your fucking arms or whatever, and I'll smash your chest open. She's like, I don't know. Just lay on the ground. I'm gonna jump on you really quick. That's how you do it, right?
Well, that's a bummer. So
yeah,
maybe
no, I've never been asked to do that when I was younger and could have learned. Now as an adult,
you don't want to do it.
I sure don't. Sure don't. Well, I don't mind, like, I could wrap my arms around people, but people hold their hands in, like, certain ways and whatnot, and I'm like, I don't know. I can hug somebody real hard.
Yeah. You don't know the technique.
Yeah, no.
Well, man, it is what it is. It was a pipe dream anyways.
Yeah.
Look, man, I know that you're, my next question is what's good with anime, but I know it's super dry for you.
Yeah, it's dry season in anime right now. Essentially, because I don't have a TV, I haven't been keeping up with shit, and I feel fucking horrible about it.
Mm-hmm.
I miss anime so goddamn much. But you know what is good in anime? I got to go see in theaters Night is Short, Walk On Girl.
Yeah, I was there with you. What a good movie.
When we first watched it and reviewed it, I had a great time with it. It was pretty fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But we had to watch it on our computers.
It was pretty shitty.
Because there was no way to, And then going and seeing in theater...
Different.
I had such an amazing experience. I was giggling during a lot of it, and it's just great being able to see all the animation.
It's one of those movies where like after I've seen it twice now, and I feel like if I get the opportunity, I think I'd buy this. Like I really want to.
It's very, very good. It's
really
something that I want to share with people too.
I really want to own it. And it made me like, I know I had parts that I really liked of it from the first time I watched it. Second time around, I realized, you know what, was it the pop-up theater scenes, you know?
Yeah.
Those are
fantastic.
so fucking good.
Oh, really?
I liked them the first time. I loved them even more the second time.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the whole theater enjoyed it. Like everybody was having a good time laughing at this ridiculous, you know, singing and crazy plot twists. And oh man, it was great. It was such a good time. Yeah. For me, anime wise, that's been a big thing that it did also. Besides that, I mean, I've watched a couple things. I'm a little more caught up than you are with things. I'm a little behind also. I'm caught up with the manga of My Hero Academia, which I'm really liking, and I can't wait for whenever the anime shows gets to where we are now. It's going to take forever, but I'm super stoked for it to take forever. So
yeah, I mean, Dude, I want to watch some more My Hero. I'm into that.
For sure. Cool. Do you want to get to the news? Just keep this thing rolling? Cool. Let's get it.
You talk like closer to the mic.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I get so much more when I turn you up.
Yeah.
So I can't.
No, but if you put me up, then it's too loud, then I can't talk at all.
No, because you're really good right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like this close, this is fine.
For sure.
This is totally good. You were just too far, so I couldn't turn you up anymore.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, so let's get into the news. I don't have a lot of groundbreaking news, but I have some cool stuff.
Cool.
So, Crunchyroll has created a new animation division for originally animated content called Elation.
Cool. You know, I didn't even know the name. I figured it'd just be like Crunchyroll Animation.
But I mean, yeah, they got something. Elation.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's cute. You know?
Yeah, it's
no Diamond Drop Studios. You know,
good old fashioned jokes right there.
Yeah. Shout out to Kyle for Diamond Drop Studios.
Yeah, just making up a name on the spot about some bullshit that's not even real. So yeah, Crunchyroll's doing a new studio for their own original stuff, and I kind of like the look of the animation. It looks like it is kind of anime inspired, but it also looks very like cartoony. It's like cartoony chibi.
It kind of gave me what's it called? Like Scott Pilgrim vibes.
Yeah, it's kind of blobby like that.
Yeah.
Which I like.
I really like it too. I think it's interesting looking. I'm kind of curious to see where it goes, and I'm also curious to see what other things they produce, because it
could be anything. That's just one project that they kind of showed.
This is the first thing that they're doing. So I'm pretty sure they'll do other things. Like I can't imagine them being like this is the only show we're going to work on. So yeah, I mean, it's cool that I feel like they're creating their own content, because other things do that. Netflix makes their own content. Hulu makes their own content. I think Prime even makes their own content also.
Amazon does.
Why not have Crunchyroll make its own content?
Totally feel you.
I mean, we were talking about it. It is anime inspired. It's not anime.
Yeah.
We were talking about this earlier, and who's to say tell them wrong, tell them otherwise, be like, hey, that's not anime. Right. Well, we know it's not anime, and they know it's not anime, but
it's like, because we've kind of talked about it before, like Avatar The Last Airbender, is it anime or not? It's very anime inspired. It's super close. It's definitely not anime.
It's still a really good show. So there's nothing saying that this will be bad,
No.
It could be great, and it can, not be anime and still be on Crunchyroll, because guess what?
Yeah.
They're not lying to anybody. They're not saying,
well, there's this
is anime from Japan. They're not trying. They're like, hey, it's inspired by it, and and how much inspiration there is left up to their interpretation, because we are in the West, and I'm sure there's gonna be a bunch of Western animation that's also inspired in this or whatever. So yeah,
it could be, because there's a lot of anime that's inspired by Western animation, and it's hard to be like, no, you were not inspired by Western anime. Like,
fuck you.
What the fuck? No, yeah. Just because it's anime, like Fully Cooley, it has a lot of like inspiration from different forms of media. Trigger has very openly talked about
fucking Inferno Cop looks like it belongs on Adult Swim.
It totally does.
So who are you to tell somebody it's not inspired? It's like, fuck them,
So yeah, it could be great. It could be terrible. I'm hoping that it's not terrible.
We're gonna watch it regardless, and we're gonna be like, hey, it was great, or it was terrible, because that's what we do.
Which, who knows when it's going to come out too. They just announced that the studio exists, which means that they might come out with something in the next year. It might be like 3 years. Yeah. Who knows?
Well, they're working out of LA and Anaheim, from what I heard. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's like that's the cartoon or fucking center of the world here in California, at least.
And it looks like the show they're doing is about like a bunch of magical like fantasy girls living in like a medieval fantasy type town,
which are things that you like. So
I'm into it, and it's got fun colors, some pinks and blues and whatnot. Anyhow, speaking of Crunchyroll, Crunchyroll plans to fully roll out its HTML5 video player by September. So those of you that don't know, on the computer, Crunchyroll uses Flash, which is pretty archaic. Flash hasn't been used on a lot of different platforms for a few years now. Flash is actually shutting down.
Yeah, no, I remember being like younger and remember having to download Flash to do something, and the older I got, realizing Flash is pretty shit. It gets the job done. Yeah, but it's not like the best thing in the world.
And Flash has been, it's been around since the dawn of time, essentially. But like with each new iteration, like, oh, we got a new Flash and whatnot. It's like, all right, it hasn't done anything, at least in terms of a player, not necessarily in terms of an application like for animation or whatever. But in terms of a player, it's just keeping up with the times. It's not doing anything crazy new and innovative.
I remember people always like also bringing up, I don't know how true this is, the validity of it, but people always being like, man, you really should avoid Flash. You know, it's a great way to get hacked by people. I was like, I don't know if that's completely true.
I don't know either.
I remember that being a big thing.
I remember that too.
And
I think it was just a matter of people weren't comfortable with downloading for a long time, and Flash was something where it was downloaded and it makes changes to everything.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was just like, oh, you want to watch this cool video? Download Flash. And I was like, I've been told not to download things because it's not safe. But no, in reality, you and I know, and everybody knows that Flash is kind of a garbage thing, and we should be using something better.
Yeah. So I'm super excited that they're rolling out HTML5. That being said, the player is not that fantastic. It's already soft launched, so some people do have it. It's just kind of like random, whoever gets it, I think.
Yeah.
But everybody's going to be getting it by September, and at some point in September, everyone will have it. And essentially, they've removed some functionality for a better behind the scenes system. So stuff that we can't see is doing better. But
whatever. What does that mean to us? Yeah.
Yeah. So in the meantime, if you're interested, you could actually get an HTML5 plugin for both Mozilla Firefox and Google Chrome. Maybe Opera. I haven't looked into it, but I don't fuck with Safari or Edge.
Yeah. No. So yeah, I mean, you and I talked about this. It's super funny because, I mean, you know, you usually watch Crunchyroll on your PS4, right?
Yeah, pretty much always.
And I usually just stream it from my phone, just like, you know, cast it or whatever.
Yeah, on your Chromecast, yeah.
But my Chromecast has been acting kind of funny lately, and then you don't have a TV. So it's kind of funny that for the first week in a long time, you and I have had to go to the web browser. Right?
We did. And did you notice any issues?
The first thing that popped up was like, hey, will you like to allow Flash this one time or never? I was like, what do you do? Like, oh my God. I was like, really? You're going to do Flash? I mean, it played fine or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's, you know, it's nothing to write home about.
No, it takes a little bit to,
it is a little slow,
yeah.
But I mean, fuck Crunchyroll, get your fucking, you know, get your game together.
Have you ever had that issue where, because I've used it on my computer a few times, where it gets locked in fucking place and it won't let you go back like to another scene? Like you're 6 minutes in and then you have to go to the bathroom. You get back and it's like 3 minutes in or whatever, and you're like, okay, gotta rewind it. And it won't fucking let you rewind, and you're like, I'll just refresh the page, and then it still won't let you goddamn rewind.
Yeah, then you just close the thing and open it up again.
Yeah, it still doesn't work. It's just a whole thing. I've had to deal with that before, and that's an issue with the Flash player. So with this HTML5 player, we're not going to have that same issue. So they're working on things like that, any kinds of like buggy things, but there's less functionality in the player in terms of like skip to the next episode or like I think volume options is one of them.
They got rid of volume options? Like, it's pretty important.
Yeah, I don't know. They got rid of some stuff. I don't remember specifically what it is, but I was very surprised to read about that. Just like, oh, okay. So I don't know what's going to happen. If my plugin is going to supersede what Crunchyroll does or whatever, but I really like the plugin for the time being. The plugin's good.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we can, you know, as soon as you can use your PS4, you can go straight to your PS4. So, you know, this is just kind of sucks for people out there who only have like the web browser to go through to it.
People are using their laptops. They're sitting in bed listening to the podcast. Like, maybe I will watch a little bit of Crunchyroll.
Maybe I will allow Flash this one time. Yeah. Fingers crossed for you guys who are out there, you know, slumming it. And best of luck to you. Let us know how it goes. I know that I'm not going to be touching it on my computer anytime soon. So
good luck, Godspeed.
Yeah.
So, speaking of streaming services, Netflix has greenlit a second live-action American Death Note film.
I saw this, and I just like shared it on the Facebook page, and I just put it LOL. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. So I don't know if you've met anybody that's like
one person.
I actually liked it.
One person, DJ, and he's crazy. Like, he's the craziest guy I know. He legitimately liked it.
On one hand, it doesn't surprise me at all. And on the other hand, I'm like, fucking, come on. This is the one. Come on, DJ.
Sometimes I feel like he just likes things just to go against the grain. Yeah. But no, I've honestly never, like, I haven't met anybody besides my insane friend DJ who has, like, honestly liked it. Like my boy Kenny, who's been in the military for a while. You know, he's very recently gone back into like, you know, he's also like started a family, has kids, very recently started to get back into like watching animes and stuff like being able to like, you know, indulge himself in more like, you know, personal things like this. And so he sent me a message the other day. He's like, dude, there's a fucking live action. No, he's like, there's a second season of Attack on Titan. I was like, dude, fuck you. There's a third season. Hurry up. And then
get your life together.
And then he was like, dude, there's a live action, Full Metal Alchemist and live action Death Note. I was like, Kenny, they are both very bad.
You need to cool your jets,
and
kid.
He's like, they can't be that bad. Like, look, man, I'm telling you, they're bad. But watch them at your own, And he did, and he's just like, they were horrible. It's like, I fucking told you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that we don't call our live action episodes like live action extravaganza,
yeah.
like live action garbage.
Yeah, live action awesomeness. No, it's for sure live action garbage. And I'm really surprised that they decided to greenlit this because for the most part, it was just backlash. Like, people just weren't. I mean, I'm sure.
Here's the thing: it got views. People talked about it.
The one thing I do remember watching it because I kind of forgot, and I did like the L. The L was played by that guy that's in Atlanta. He was in,
oh yeah.
Sorry to bother.
For a second, I was thinking about Light, and I was like, you liked Light in this?
No.
Light's a good. He's a fine actor.
He's fine. It was just a shitty portrayal.
Yeah. Definitely. L was the best part,
and Ryuk looked really cool,
really great.
Willem Dafoe should be a fucking just like what is it called? What are they called?
Shinigami.
Yeah. Like he should be.
I totally agree. I didn't like the personality that they gave Ryuk as much.
No, he didn't. Yeah, exactly. I'm saying like visually.
So they did
vocally
exactly.
amazing.
I think that they just did a good job overall with L.
Yeah, they made Ryuk look like he was more of a meddler. Like he's like just wants to fuck shit up. When in reality, he's more like, I'm just along for the ride. I'm bored.
Yeah,
and that should be his vibes.
Yeah, instead of being sinister.
Yeah, exactly.
He's more of a just like chill boy checking out the weird shit that humans do.
He's like the Joker. Like, I just kind of want to see shit burn.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I mean, we will for sure be watching this second movie. We will for sure
we will
be shitting on it because it's probably going to be terrible. So
what if they fucking came out here and we're just like, okay, so it's going to be an original movie in the Death Note universe, and we're actually going to kill it. It's going to be great.
Nice.
Well, that would be amazing.
Fuck if I know, man. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we will. So check it out. A Kickstarter for an English version of Island, the video game, not the anime, but the video game that the anime is based off of.
The JRPG.
Yeah. I think isn't it a visual novel?
Oh, it is a visual novel.
It's a visual novel.
We should have JRPG.
So the Kickstarter for an English version of Island has begun and is seeking $50,000 for full funding, which I'm kind of surprised. That seems like a low amount to me.
Does it?
But I mean, 50,000. I don't know. Like, I get it just for an English version, but for some reason, I'm thinking like in the 100K.
In my head, I feel like that's a lot of money because, like, if you really want it, like, it's crowdfunded, right? It's not like it's like the company's going out looking for it. So as a fan, I guess you want the best, but honestly, sometimes you're kind of just like, just give me something. So I feel like they're being a little greedy. Just be like, look, man, just give us a shitty dub, we'll fucking deal with it.
It's interesting too, because there's so many fan-made things. Like Earthbound 3 never came out to the US, but it has this fan-made one.
It gets done pretty well,
Yeah,
so like,
it's fucking incredible.
I don't know. I mean, it's funny that you think that's a little, and I think it's a lot. So,
I mean, I just think it's a little if it's trying to be professionally done. But if it's just like some guy that's like, I'm going to translate all of it and I'm going to program it.
Just fucking do it.
Like, okay, well, why do you need the money? But if it's like the company is just like, I don't know if we are going to be able to do this or if there's even an American market, then that makes sense. If it's the actual company that made the game in the first place.
Yeah, they might need more money than that.
And that's kind of what I assume.
I just assumed that it was like some
if
some
it's some
fanboy.
fucking nobody, that's a whole different deal. But
come on, guys, we can really get this done. And we can get fucking, the second movie of Death Note if we really try.
All right, cool. So Twitch. You're aware of Twitch, the streaming service for like nerd shit
for games and mostly games, but they do other things.
Yeah, also like live
events,
people, like just whack stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, Twitch has begun streaming all 19 seasons of Pokemon along with its 16 movies since Monday, the 27th.
Is that like the Pokemon Twitch page that's doing it, or just Twitch?
You know what? I never really know how these things work, but like sometimes Crunchyroll is like, oh, we're streaming like 1,000 different animes. So it's something like that. Maybe like
they must have got somebody's permission because I know.
Oh yeah, there's for sure permission.
Okay, cool. Well, that's good. I mean, there's no way I could watch all 19 seasons of Pokemon.
Yeah,
but that's good. I'm sure somebody's gonna watch all 19 seasons of Pokemon.
Crazy though. So I think that's good. That could be a fun, cool little event. Like hey man, I just want to lay around, watch some Pokemon, but I don't want to go through the effort of it, then you could check that out. And it's also these kinds of events, people lose their goddamn mind watching it. And since it's all live, people are commenting stuff. So like if something crazy goes down or something stupid goes down, people are super excited. Yeah,
I feel it.
They're like, Ash is a dumb little bitch again, or whatever it is.
In the Johto League. Yeah, I feel what you're saying.
So I think that could be a lot of fun. Cool. Speaking of a lot of fun, we've been anticipating a movie for a long time now called I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
Let me guess, it's about cancer.
It is about cancer. Somebody has cancer, and you gotta eat the pancreas to get rid of all the cancer. That's the whole point of the movie, essentially.
Yeah, and it's chibi. Is that the cat?
Yeah, there's a cat outside the door. I think she's playing around with a towel roll, just the like roll part of it.
Cool.
I don't know, like a paper towel roll. Anyways, yeah. So I'm pretty excited. They put out a trailer for this movie in English, finally. Right? It's not really in anything. Is it dubbed? It's not even
just visuals.
It's a little bit just visuals, but it's like more like a music video.
Ooh, an animated music video, if you will.
Similar, yeah.
Is this line for the AMVs?
It's more showing just like clips while a song plays, but the song doesn't have any like subtitles going along with it or anything. If you let YouTube translate it, it translates into Korean, and then if you ask it to auto translate it to English, it just goes wah and it's like, yo, they're not saying any of that. Like, what the fuck?
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's pretty great. But yeah, I watching the trailer, not remembering who has the cancer. I can't tell who has it.
I think it's the girl.
I thought it was too. I don't know for sure if it is, because it didn't have any like.
Do you want to guess?
Dialogue.
I'm gonna guess it's a girl. My money's on the girl.
I want to guess the girl as well, but after seeing the trailer, it's hard to tell because the guy is kind of sad. This is like a romance, essentially. A couple of high school kids. I think they're in high school. One of them has cancer. And
you and I will make a deal. We will not look up who has the cancer because we can totally look it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until we watch the movie. But my stance is girl. Your stance.
Also girl.
Cool. Then we'll either both be wrong or both be right.
That being said, in the trailer, it makes it very difficult to tell because I thought I remembered in the past it was the girl that has cancer. Mm-hmm. But the girl is so happy-go-lucky in every clip.
That's what cancer does to you.
And the guy is kind of bummed.
That's what cancer does to you.
So I think it's going to be one of those movies that's fucked up where she's like, you know what? I have cancer, but I'm going to make the best of my life. Yeah. And he's just sad the whole time. And then there are a couple of emotional moments like in the trailer for it. I think this movie might fuck me up a little bit, so I'm kind of excited for it.
Cool. Can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah, man. I don't got more news.
Cool. All right, man. So this week we were talking about this Tatami Galaxy, right?
Yes.
Which is, you know what it is, right? When I say that, you know exactly what I mean. But yeah, it's an 11 episode anime that I watched on Crunchyroll, right? You watched it?
Yeah, it's on Crunchyroll. It's also on Funimation now.
I watched it on I looked it up on Funimation. It wouldn't play.
Oh,
it says Tatami Galaxy, but there's no episodes, which blew my mind because when you go to Crunchyroll, it says like the first thing that pops up is
now, with a little heart and a face and all that.
Yeah, and it's just like it's kind of frustrated. But hey, I mean, I got to watch it on Crunchyroll, which is super cool. So
yeah. So the studio that made this is Madhouse. What's Madhouse done?
Hold on, let me get this. They've done everything.
Yeah.
So they've done the first season of One Punch Man. And they also have done Death Note. I want to say one more thing that they've done. Did they do Death Billiards?
Yeah.
Nice. That's 3 things. Nailed it.
Cool. They've got so much out there. They do a ton of movies. They've done like all of, I think, Mamoru Hosoda's movies, like The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, The Boy and the Beast, stuff like that. They've done a lot of older stuff like Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, goddamn everything. And this is a more artistic show. So
yeah, surprisingly, yeah. Because Madhouse is usually, I mean, it's not that they're not artistic. It's just usually they just make really good animation and like what I would consider like classic animation. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like stuff that can stand against time.
Yeah.
But not in an artistic way, just in this is good quality. However, this is very much just in an artistic way. It's unique quality, which I think is good, but only because it's so artistic. Like if you were to look at it and not like I don't know. If you can't appreciate like art, you'd probably be like, wow, this is really ugly and it's really shitty. Yeah.
But
it just looks weird and all that.
Yeah, but if you're someone who does see the merit in like artistic, value or like the artistic interpretations, you'll be like, wow, this is really cool looking, They did a good job. That's what the show is. The show is like, it's pretty and it's like really artsy, but it's not like it's not ping pong ugly, because I remember remember at first hating ping pong for the way it looked.
Yeah.
It's a better looking version of ping pong is what I'd say.
And the reason that you bring that up is because this is directed by Masaaki Yuasa, who's done things like Ping Pong, Genius Party, Devilman, Crybaby, Night is Short, Walk on Girl.
Things that I like. Genius Party, I should check that out. I've never heard of it.
Genius Party, and there's another one, Mind Game. Okay. There's another one. I think they... Maybe only one of them, but they might both be on Netflix.
For sure. I've for sure seen those other things and really like them. So, yeah. This guy definitely has 2 thumbs up in my book.
Oh, he's super unique. With everything he does, he makes sure that it's very personalized to his style. Yeah. And it's pretty cool. So the Tatami Galaxy, this is a show which is more of an experiment. It's not so much like there's a very consistent plot going on throughout it and we're growing each episode. This is a show that I actually found to be really enjoyable to binge because of the format that it's in.
Exactly.
I think that it would have been really hard to watch it week by week. Like watching My Hero Academia week by week is only hard because you're so pumped for the next episode.
It's a treat. You're like, oh man, I can't wait for the next episode of this. But for this, I would have been like, fuck, it's, another episode of this or whatever. That's how it would have felt if it was like, it's pretty old, right? 2013, I want to say.
Look it up. I want to say it's before that.
Yeah.
I remember being at my dad's house when I first tried to watch it. So it was like 2009 or 10, maybe.
So it's a bit old. Yeah. And the reason we're reviewing this is because, the whole connection to the Night is Short, Walk on Girl, right?
Yeah.
That came to theaters and was like, wow, we really want to see that, but we can't review that.
And actually, I'll just share this before we actually get into the Tatami Galaxy. After the credits of Night is Short, Walk on Girl, there was a little interview at these events. Who does them? Eventbrite? I think that's like the ticket service maybe, but
Fathom Events, yeah.
Fathom Events. They often have interviews with people that have worked on the film. If it's an English dub, they have like interviews from everyone. If it's just Japanese, they have interviews from important people from that. So after the movie, they had an interview with the director and he kind of explained that he wanted to meet up with the same team that worked on the Tatami Galaxy. And that's one of the things that we could immediately tell. Like when I first watched Night is Short, Walk on Girl, I was like, oh yeah, this looks a lot like the Tatami Galaxy.
Yeah.
That being said, I hadn't seen that movie in that show in like 8 years. So it was a little bit distant for me. And then he's explaining like, yeah, he wanted to have the same team and they'd all grown and everyone was on board to do it. And this is a movie that is based on a book which has several different parts.
I think it's 4 books.
4 books. Yeah. Okay.
I think every book is supposed to like represent a season. I think
it's supposed to represent different seasons.
And so they combine these 4 books into this one movie.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because I remember like you and I talking about it when we reviewed, that movie.
Right. It's very segmented into these different scenes.
It flows together, but you can for sure feel that moment where it's like, cool, now it's time for this new chapter or this new story or
and
whatever.
The pacing's different in each part and like there's just different stuff going on.
And now that I know that it's 4 books, I'm just like, wow, they did a great job of melding these 4 books together.
Fucking great. And he said that the original author wanted to make it all one continuous story, but didn't know how and found it too difficult. So they had tried working on the project a few times and it never really took off the way that they wanted to. They tried like a short and whatnot. Anyways, they finally got everyone together to work on this project and to actually make it like what it's supposed to be. They did such a fucking good job at it. Since they had the same team that worked on the Tatami Galaxy, they also decided that they would be using the same characters and they would just make improvements to those characters. That being said, when I say characters, I mean character design. So we've got our main character girl who is similar to the love interest in the Tatami Galaxy, but he described that they softened her look a bit. So she has kind of like a sharp face and a little bit like intense, like intimidating, very, very strong eyes and features and stuff.
Kind of like some beady. But in this one, she's in the Night is Short, Walk on Girl. The character is definitely softened up, and she's more like, I feel like more approachable.
Definitely more approachable. Warmer, that's probably the best way to describe her. More approachable.
Her clothes for sure like give a vibe of like she's more friendly and and then our main character in Tatami Galaxy, who I think we only know by as Senpai, which is like Senpai, and then and then the girl's in the Tatami Galaxy has a name, but in the movie they call her like the raven haired girl.
Yeah.
He looks same build. I'd feel like same fair skin or whatever. They're essentially white, which I really like. They're just pale. The hair's a little different, but I don't know about you, but I actually like the design in the Tatami Galaxy more than I do in the movie that they made.
I don't disagree with you. I think that they're both appropriate for each thing.
Yeah.
So the designs are great for the Tatami Galaxy. They fit the themes, they fit the show so well. And I'm glad that they changed the look of the characters for Night is Short Walk On Girl. I feel like it's more appropriate for that movie. They could have kept the guy a little bit more similar to the Tatami Galaxy, and I would have thought that was fine too. Yeah. Just with the design with that. But as far as the girl goes, I love it.
I like her new design. I mean, I like the girl in the Tatami Galaxy, but this new girl, like, I really do like her vibe. And then they also have like other characters,
side characters and whatnot. I love the drinking girl.
Yeah.
Fantastic in both. She looks great.
I love the master with the big chin.
The master's fantastic.
Yeah, he's awesome. And then they got the president of the movie club who, you know, has I think a short role in the Night is Short Walk On Girl, but he is bigger in the Tatami Galaxy. Yeah. And actually he grew on me a lot. I think there's a few other...
They've got like a little monkey guy for some reason. Osu, he's a huge character in the Tatami Galaxy. And he plays like a little like book imp, right? God. Yeah, he's essentially
like the god of used books or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool design. Like cool redesign.
But let's... sorry, just one more thing. Sure. There's like an old prophet essentially in the Tatami Galaxy, and she tells our main character kind of what his life should be, what he should do.
Yeah, like a fortune teller. Right?
Yeah, a fortune teller. Thank you. And I don't know if you caught this, but I think that the old man
is supposed to kind of be like her.
Yeah, I think that they improved on the design and made it a man.
I think they look a little similar enough for where you could like make that connection. And I know in the the Night is Short Walk On Girl, he has a name, but in the movie, in the Tatami Galaxy, it's just like old lady or whatever. So no, that's a good connection. So the thing about this show, there's only 11 episodes, and like we were saying, there's no real overarching story per se, right? But
there's not.
But it's not like a traditional overarching story.
This is very artistic.
So for the first, I don't know, I'd like to say 5 or 4 episodes. Yeah, there's these beats, and there's essentially the stories. Every story is kind of the same, except with different things inside of it. And then there's I feel like 3 or 4 episodes where they kind of do this little. I mean, I guess it'd be 3 in my. It's like kind of like I'd say a trilogy. And then
it's very similar to like Community, which we'll get into as well.
And then the very last 2 are for sure it's like a part 1 and part 2 of wrapping up the story, which I really like.
So happy that they did that because I was enthralled.
For sure,
we'll get into that more too.
First, I'd like to say I love this show. I really liked it.
Yeah. It's a show where you have to watch all of it to love it. Yeah, you can enjoy it as you're watching it, as both of us did, but then after it's done,
like wow.
Yeah,
you kind of just reflect on all of it, and I don't think I'm not going to say the show's perfect because there's lulls in it every now and then.
And honestly, the animation could be a little bit cleaner at certain parts.
Yeah, at some parts it's kind of jarring, but for the most part, I feel like because of the artistic interpretation they're taking, I'm like you can kind of get away with letting it be a little not as clean as it's supposed to be. But I mean, as an animator, I really like the way everything looked. I was like, wow, this is really so cool. It's really refreshing. Yeah, and it's for how old it is. I'm like, wow, this holds up pretty well.
Well, because they did something, I don't know what it is in particular, but all the colors pop. Everything's really striking. Yeah. They might all be of a similar palette, but then like certain things pop out. And then there are other scenes where everything's just like kind of washed out and then you get some colors that are popping and everything in between. They did a really good job with the overall just color palettes in each scene, which I feel like is an important thing that is sometimes neglected. And I don't know.
They also did a really good job of this hybridization of they would use real film and real shots with animation in it. And
and they would put some special effects over the real shots, some filters over it
to kind of make them not look as clean as it's supposed to be. Yeah, and it happens in the intro. They show in the intro, and then we see it a little bit in some of the episodes during the the season. Yeah, and but the very the second to last episode they do a really good heavy job of it's oh man, you can really see the real film.
So fucking good.
Really love the intro. Really love the outro.
Yeah, let's talk about the intro for a second. Sure. We'll talk about the outro after we go through kind of the general idea of the show. So the intro, it's something that by the end of it makes a lot more sense at the end of the show. But the intro is essentially just, we get to see this camera going through a hallway, kind of showing us each of the characters, and it's just like zooming past them, driving through them as it's continuing down this hallway into all these different rooms that all look pretty similar. They're almost the same room, and it keeps going and going and going. And it's cool that it gets to show us like all the characters. They look like they're really standing out because it does have that real life looking, like video thing going on.
Yeah.
So it blows past all these 2D characters in this 3D looking world. And then it gets into just more like bright, fun colors. The song is super fun. It's got some trumpets. It sounds like just a really fun, celebratory, like kind of dancey, but not really dancey song.
It's kind of cheery. And I'm like, yeah,
very cheery. Yeah.
I really a big fan of this intro. And, you know, not just for the visual aspects, like the music. I was like, wow.
Absolutely.
Like every time the episode played, I'm like, yeah, boom, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, yeah, I'm super like stoked to get into another episode of this stuff.
Totally.
You know, and it's something that that sometimes people ignore, like just kind of like skip over. But this is
sometimes people do. Yeah,
this is an intro that I feel like it's really cool. And if you think about it, once you're done with the show, you're like, wow, the intro makes so much sense. You know?
Really did. It was cool. And yeah, when we talk about the last episode, we'll talk about that as well. Yeah.
So for the first, so I'm going to do the thing where I'm going to quickly review
what is the story, the plot points. So because every plot point is similar.
So you and I were talking about this, like it's like it called it the Hateful Eight last year, but it's the Endless Eight, right?
Yeah, the Endless Eight. Yeah. It's the Haruhi Suzumiya effect, and that's kind of what we're getting in this with so much more differences.
So the thing is, like for the first chunk of these, the every episode kind of plays the same. We get introduced to our main character. He says like, "Hey, I'm a freshman in high school, in college or whatever."
Yeah,
and he goes, "I'm trying to look for that." He calls it the rose-colored campus, which is like his idea of like, I want to find love, I want to have that beautiful life or whatever. Yeah, and then he'll join a club or some sort of
so he starts out with a tennis club,
joins a tennis club, and then things quickly don't pan out.
Yeah, like everyone couples up except for him, and he doesn't even get friends.
He gets put to the wayside, and he's just kind of bummed out. And then he meets is it Ozu?
Ozu, yeah.
Yeah, Ozu meets him. He's this really impish looking, kind of almost like a monster kind of kid.
He looks like a little fucking demon.
Yeah. And they'll become, in quotations, friends. And then they kind of do some sort of mischievous thing, they'll do something that's kind of not good. And,
essentially they're fucking with other people's relationships
because they're jealous.
They're just fucking with people that are better than them.
And then, the next point I feel would be like, our main character,
he has a love interest.
Yeah, we meet, we meet this girl, and it's not, he doesn't quickly say, "Oh, I love her." It's just like, this is the girl, whatever. They share a nice moment. They'll talk about, something that he's missing, that she's losing. She lost something. Some sort of charm, right? Like
essentially like a moth flies by whenever they're hanging out. And then she's fucking terrified of moths. So afterwards she starts like squeezing on these little like stupid looking bear doll thingies that she has on her bag, and she's squeezing them as like a stress relief thing. Yeah.
And she'll be like, "Oh, I lost one." And and our character will find it, and he'll be like, "Cool." And then he just kind of forgets about it. And then
this is always done in a flashback sequence.
Yeah, he'll be like, "That's so and so. She is a part of this club, and she's really smart. And she does all of this or whatever, and she's such a cool person." But that's it. Like he never goes like, "I love her." And it takes a while for us to get to that point, but it's just always like, yeah, she's just a friend of mine, and I know her this way, and she's super, smart, essentially. It's always her being just a great person, and him being like, I'm so dumb, don't even realize it. We get to a point where he'll come across a fortune teller, right? The fortune teller would be like, blah, 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 something cryptic, and then she goes, your happiness is just dangling in front of your head, in front of your face the whole time.
Just like reach out and grab it. And
she'll always end up with that, and then she'll be like 1,000 yen. And then every time she comes back, she always
like 4,000 yen.
2,000 yen, 3,000 yen. And the price keeps coming up. What's funny is that her character kind of has moments where he'll be like, when he sees her at later time, he'll be like, oh, he hears this news, even though he heard it before, he'll hear it again and be like, oh, that's cool, that's so great. And then she'll say the price, and he goes, oh, that was more than last time,
Yeah, just like, I feel like that's more expensive than it used to be.
Like deja vu.
Did the prices go up?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Then he'll, after the fortune teller thing, some shit happens. And usually we end up realizing is that Ozu, right, has done something horrible, or
he's just fucked up, or
has betrayed him or something, or whatever the grief that he has felt is because of him, like he's always to be blamed. And then, I think this is like in the first episode, Ozu ends up falling off the bridge, and he ends up falling off the bridge after him or whatever.
Yeah, he like tries to help him. He's like, no, like, because I don't know, Osu's just doing some weird shit. He's dressed up like a woman.
It's like this whole convoluted thing. Like, we don't even know from the first episode, like, what's going on.
Like, why the fuck is this happening?
Yeah, but we know that people are mad at Ozu or whatever, and he's trying to help, and he ends up falling off the bridge too. Then I'm sorry, I think I missed him. Before that, he realizes that there's this the little doll, is hanging from his
light switch,
in his room, his tiny room.
Yeah, which is. It's a 4.5 tatami room, which is kind of where the theme comes from. For those of you that don't know what tatami rooms, they're the mats on the ground in a lot of Japanese style rooms. So this one has like four long rectangles, and
a
half
square. Of one in the center, which is super cool.
It looks really, design wise, fucking cool.
Yeah, no, and it took me a while to learn that. I was like, what, and we'll talk about that later. But
so much of this was just like, we'll get to that.
Yeah, so he realizes, oh shit, this is what the fortune teller was talking about. Like, reach out and grab it. So he's gonna grab the thing. He's like, I'll go talk to the girl. I'll go on a date with her to the ramen place that I promised I'd take her, and everything will be resolved or whatever.
And oftentimes this is where he has the flashback. There's a moth flying in front of him, and this is like a live action looking like filter thing. He sees the moth flying in front of his light, and then he sees that little thing, and he has the whole flashback about the moth and about the little toy.
Yeah, for sure. So then he like I said, so then we're going to, now they're at the bridge, everything's going to shit. He really fucked the opportunity to give her back her, little doll thing and ask her on a date. Ozu falls off the bridge. He falls off the bridge, and then he kind of does this. It reminds me of like the butterfly effect. He goes,
it's just like, I fucking wish that I could just go back to the beginning of college and change it all and maybe do things right.
And then we see a shot of like the clock tower, and it like strikes a number, and then it just starts rewinding, and everything comes back. And then the intro song starts.
Yeah,
the outro song starts, and it's
which is really cool. And it does that every time, and it just this has more darker kind of tone to it.
I still really like the outro. The outro,
it's really good.
The visuals of the outro is like, it starts off with the tatami, just like the floor plans of the tatami room, and like the doors open, and then the music starts playing, and more rooms get added, and everything gets shuffled around, and the doors are opening and closing.
And there are just so many fucking rooms and hallways, and they all extend and contract and get bigger and smaller.
I remember telling you, like, when we started watching this, I was like, dude, this outro, I fucking dig this outro. It's so cool looking.
The intro and outro are fantastic with this show. I never once skipped them.
For sure. So then the second episode started, and it starts the same, like, and this was the first time I knew this. Like, it starts the same, and he goes like, "Hey, what's up? My name is whatever. I'm looking for that."
And I feel like it's important to also let you guys know, it's not exactly like, "Hey, these are the things that are happening." It's like, this is my name. This is what I do. We go and we eat food, and this is what's happening, and this is what's going on. This is my friend here, and this is what we're doing here, and that's why I'm here, and this is that situation, and this is that, and this is how this led to that, and that, and that, and that, and it just goes and goes and you don't have a second to breathe.
Yeah, this is a show where like the main character does a lot of like the narration, right?
Yeah,
and he doesn't talk it. He doesn't like. There's no like real pauses or lulls. It's just like a stream of consciousness,
which is so fucking cool.
It is cool.
Like it starts out, I'm like, man, I forgot about how hard this is to watch because it's so fast. And that being said, when I say it's hard to watch, I mean that I can't just like lay down and like eat a bag of chips and fall asleep in the middle of it because I'm going to miss like 1,000 things.
I remember it's like, I'm going to sit down and start watching Tatami Galaxy because I had some free time, and it was late at night.
And I'm not.
I turn on the TV, I start watching the first episode, I pause it like within seconds. I'm like, nope, too drunk to do this. And I go to sleep,
Yeah.
So then I realized that you really got to focus to watch this show. You can't, this isn't an anime you can just put in the background and watch it. Like, you'll miss so many things.
Oh my gosh.
A dub would be really appreciated if it was good, because I feel like the talking, at least I could pick it up in English. You know?
Like, people have a hard time with things like Fooly Cooly, where there are a lot of characters that are just saying like, oh, here's a bunch of shit going on, and somebody in the background is muttering like a long sentence,
and you're like,
that's hard to watch, right?
Yeah,
you have to read so many different things and get all the little nuances. This is like another level to that.
It's still really good. I mean, it might be deterrent to some people, but I still really liked it.
Oh, it's so good.
So this, like I was saying, the second episode starts, and it starts like the first one. He goes, "Hey, blah blah blah. My name is so and so, blah blah blah." He goes like, "I'm trying to find that rose-colored, fucking campus," and then he picks a different club this time.
It was like Cinema Club. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, and so now we'll meet different characters, and the same plots usually get hit. Like saying, like, Ozu gets met. We have eventually the fortune teller shows up.
Yeah.
Ozu betrays him. He has a flashback with the girl he likes. Something horrible happens. He wishes to go back in time. time goes back.
Yeah.
And then the next episode starts. And this is a good, like, I want to say 4 or 5, maybe even 6 episodes of just this kind of workflow of things happening. Yeah. And this is how we meet, you know, all the other characters. And because he does different things throughout different episodes in different years, right? He ends up meeting different people and becoming different levels of relationships with them. Like, he'll be really good friends with one person, and then the next episode he's like, man, fuck that guy. My job is to, you know, to catch him or whatever. Or he'll be like, oh, I hate this kid and I'm going to fucking ruin his career. But in like the 4th episode, he'll be like, oh, I'm working for him because he's giving me money and I'm broke or whatever. Yeah.
So like in the 2nd episode, essentially he joins the film club, meets up with Osu, as they're working on different things.
Yeah.
Osu's like, he's a sound guy,
like, he's essentially a sound engineer. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's working on that, and they meet up after recording a scene where our main character's playing like a bad guy and he gets kicked into the river. And then they're like, oh, we have to shoot that again. And he's fucking mad. And Osu's like, yeah, man, I understand that you're all pissed off too. Like, yeah, let's be friends. And they start like forming a plot to piss off the like guy who's in charge of the cinema club.
Yeah,
essentially.
He's like the president. He's like the bad. Yeah. He's like the pretty boy, and they want to ruin his reputation. So they start like filming him doing not super cool stuff. You know, not like bad things, but just like, ew, he does that, or that's kind of gross, you know, like,
or like, oh man, he's kind of a dick. Like some girl comes up and like touches his shoulder and he's like, oh yeah,
put some disinfectant on him.
Yeah. Or like somebody gives him a gift and he's like, thank you so much, goes around the corner, throws it away, shit like that.
He also has like a love doll, which is like a real, it's like a flesh, what do you call them, real dolls or whatever, like it's like a sex doll, but like it looks really real or whatever, and he like has this weird like relationship with it where like he's actually like in love with it. It's not just like a sexual thing.
Yeah, no, which I thought was pretty cool that they did that. But this episode also does take some sexual turns where like he has a bunch of like bottles with like boobs, and he likes to suck on them, like nipple topper.
He also
or
likes
whatever.
to like measure women's chest sizes, and he has like a wall.
So he has like a chart of everything.
Yeah, he also has like a wall of stuff that like like it's like cliff.
Yeah, it's like rock climbing,
but they're all boobs or whatever.
Yeah. So just like this episode gets a lot more sexual. The first one was just like, oh, you know, girls,
wackiness,
they're great, whatever. Second episode, a lot more sexuality to it, which I thought was it's a very big difference, but it definitely shows you that if you got through the first episode, it shows that you are already at that level where it's like, this isn't going to be like a big deal to you.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a lot of more adult themes.
For sure.
It's quick. It's difficult.
It's not a kid show. It's like it's a show for someone who's more mature. So if you can't handle something like that, like obviously the show's not for you.
Yeah. And that being said, this is a very artsy show. Like we were saying before, it's not just there for like weird perverted reasons. Yeah. It's there to show these characters and show that there are so many different things, especially with college people. They have their own lives that they've established, and some are more seedy, some are more sexual, whatever it is.
Yeah. Like they're at that age or whatever.
It's just a whole thing. Yeah.
Cool. So I know I don't want to take too much time on talking all this because for the most part,
each episode's way different.
Yeah, they're all the same, but all different. Do you want to talk about what your favorite one was? Because or like one that you really like, oh, this one's really good or whatever. Not talk about the whole thing, just like what club he joined and what he did was fucked. Because I have one that I liked a lot.
You know what? I can't remember in particular like a favorite one that I had because they all affected me in different ways where I enjoyed them a lot. But in general, I think I liked the one where he was learning how to speak English so that he could connect with people around the world. I really liked that one.
That's pretty cool.
Which is a part of a trio of episodes
that we'll talk about.
Which was a weaker portion, but it was such a strong first episode.
Well, the one I really liked was the one where he gets his bicycle stolen.
I thought you might say that. I liked that one because it was so much different than the other ones.
Yeah, so like he ends up joining the bike club. His bike gets stolen. He later finds out that Ozai is a part of the Ozu, part of the reason that his bike got stolen. Like, of course, he got betrayed by him. But I really like that arc because he gets chosen to be part of the Birdman experiment or something like that.
Yeah,
where it's like the girl in this episode, she is a part of the engineering club and she's super smart and he's the perfect build to be flying their flying machine.
Piece of shit. Yeah,
and so he wants to help her out. So he starts working out with the guy from the second episode that he fucked over. To start getting fit.
Yeah,
and then he comes back and he's fit. He's like yoked, and they're like, "You fucking ruined it. You're too buff. We chose you because you were a bitch, and now we can't fucking do our thing."
And he's just immediately like, "I'm so sorry that I did this. I really fucked it up." And she's like, "Nah, man. Like that was so my bad. I honestly didn't think that you had it in you, and I'm proud of you for being able to do that." And I was like, "Oh, I
really liked that episode. I felt that episode was super fun." And then that's a good episode.
Yeah, it has a bunch of wacky other stuff where he finds out like who was stealing the bikes, and it was like, it was
by
you
these,
the whole fucking
these
time?
weird gorilla guys,
Yeah.
you know. It's in the trench. It's a really good episode.
That one felt a little bit more like Kill la Kill had some influence from that in terms of like having all those henchmen and whatnot, and just doing weird shit. And like
the more I think about it, I feel like it was, you know, because every episode's like 22 minutes long.
Yeah,
that episode felt like it had everything in it. You know?
did.
He gets his bike stolen. He ends up, you know, we learn how he gets the bike.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
they do that flashback where it's
then he gets
him
stolen.
having a bunch of shitty stuff, and then he realizes that he can't get good at riding bikes, and his body just sucks. So he's just going to buy the best really shit hard. Ever.
Yeah. He gets the best bike. He gets it stolen by some people. He ends up doing the race on a really shitty bike, and then the big chin guy ends up winning the thing, and it pisses him off. You know, and like the whole bird thing happens, and he gets yoked.
So many layers.
There's so many layers of that episode. That
and then
really
when he does eventually like wind up trying to fly it and whatnot,
he ends up getting fucked or whatever. Yeah.
And was that? No, that was a different episode. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. So now that there's like the trilogy episode that I'm calling, and this is an episode where like it's like a love triangle, right? Like there's three women in the episode that he's
trying. It's a little bit more than a triangle, but yeah.
Yeah, but there's you know, essentially like he has to pick between these three girls to be like, you know, where his like heart lies or whatever. Yeah. One of them is the dental hygienist, right? Which is the girl who drinks and speaks English.
She is also an English teacher, essentially.
Yeah.
I think.
Also because she speaks English, she also works with the English, you know. And then there's the girl. He also has like somehow he ends up with the love interest with the love doll of the guy from the second episode.
Yeah, so he became a bodyguard
in one of the episodes.
For this love doll. Like he needed him because somebody was trying to steal her or something like that. So he started being a bodyguard, and then that house that she was staying in became unsafe. So he had to bring that doll to live at our main character's house while he's protecting her.
He protects her and gets paid and eventually falls for her, right?
Yeah.
And the last one was some girl that he's writing over, like it's over like a pen pal kind of thing.
Yeah, which he learned how to write English, and that's kind of what his goal was, to write out to all these different people.
To make friends. And then the issue with that episode is like he's lying kind of about who he is, you know.
He's embellishing,
you know, and
a lot, so like people do.
So he's super nervous to meet this person because he wants to, but then he's like, well, if I meet this person, they're going to find out I'm lying, and I don't want that to happen.
Oh yeah.
And like in these episodes, even though they're like they're connected because he flashbacks, but he flashbacks to like a certain point.
Yeah.
Where he's stuck in a bathroom.
And this is where that first started. Like each episode would be like, I wish I could just go back to the very beginning and do it all over again. But this became like, okay, well, he's gotten into a situation where he doesn't know who to choose, and he drunkenly like goes back home with the dentist girl,
who is also in quotations drunk. Yeah,
she's drunk. Yeah, everyone's just drunk in that part, and he kind of panics and he goes to the bathroom, and then that's where he wants to go back in time. Mm-hmm. So he chooses to go back just 2 hours, is what he says, I believe. He
also gets there's also the introduction of some like a visual representation of like his sexual drive, right?
Yeah.
It's like this cowboy.
Yeah, which they show it in Night is Short, Walk On Girl.
Which is,
it made sense, but not like that much.
With no context. It's like, we're like, hey, there's cowboys. It's kind of wacky. But in this one,
like,
we
kind of get it, but not really.
Get it. Yeah. In this one, it's like, he calls him Jimmy.
So much more.
You know, he's just like, Jimmy's ready to fucking get out there and meet the world. And he's like, he has to hold Jimmy's back or whatever. And like, it's really crazy, you know, and
it was Johnny.
Yeah, it's very well done though. Yeah. Like in my opinion, it's not like it's like it's not distasteful.
No, I totally got it. Cause you know, having been somebody with that huge drive to be like, oh my gosh, I need to find this woman this right now.
Thing,
and I'm so into these people, and that's just, I have so much going on. They did a really tasteful job of that.
I feel so too. Yeah. And, like I said, this trilogy was kind of my least favorite. There's just like, it was a lull for me in a couple of parts.
The idea was great, just not as great of an execution as I would have liked. Because like I said, I loved the English portion. They focused a lot on that story. Yeah. And then they just go back in time 2 hours and kind of like fill you in on the other details with the other parts, but only like barely, because we got to see little pieces of those throughout. It just wasn't fully fleshed out like I wanted it to be for each section.
And that's the one where he ends up, when he finds out, spoilers, here we go, right? I guess. Where we find out that like the person who is, you know, writing these letters is Ozu, and then with the help of the raven-haired girl or whatever, right?
Yeah, which she took it over. Around, yeah.
And I remember like the issue with that was, I think the reason I didn't really like that part was because I kind of felt, because I've seen all these other episodes, I know what's going to happen. I know it's not going to come to fruition. It's not going to be that he's going to meet the girl and she's going to be like, oh, you lied. It's going to be the girl doesn't exist, you know? And I was right. So I was like, this arc for me, or this trilogy for me was like, I could have done without. It wasn't that it was bad. It was just, it wasn't too, you know, exciting in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I just like how many different things in it. Yeah. It's like, okay, so he was like kind of a help to kids, teaching them like, oh yeah, you should fight against violence or whatever, and like be supportive and just nice people. And then there are people that are like bullying the girl, and he goes up while he's dressed in this dumbass bear costume, which is one of the things that she loves or whatever. And it's just like, knock it the fuck off, guys.
Yeah. Which is super cool.
They have that little connection, which I liked that element of it.
I also like the character development of the Clygenis, where she like...
Oh, I loved her.
We see where like, you know, she's a fun, loving person and she wants to have a good time. She's my favorite character
in the show.
But she also has like, she loves the big chinned guy, you know? Yeah. They went to school together and he's kind of become a very, you know, I would say like, not like a ruffian, you know, his life is very mellow and there's no drive to him. So at least she still cares about him. And this is a good episode where, like, you know, we see her like mature and be like, you know what, even though she's out here like making, you know, trying to make a pass on our main character, it's like, no, you don't want to do this. You want to be with this other person. But then like there's the last two episodes, right? And these are the episodes that I felt like were really good, and it was
so good. One of them okay, so the last two episodes are separated into essentially a bottle episode and an expansion of that, building off of it and just exploring it in a better way where it breaks through. Anyways, the first episode reminded me a lot of the game PT, where you're just stuck in the same loop over and over. Our main character is in his tatami, and in this life, he's chosen, he doesn't want to have any of that bullshit. He just wants to just relax,
chill,
and meditate, and just have his own personal time and get into the right headspace and really focus on who he is.
He's just like, I'm going to be a shut-in. He's like, yeah, but it's okay because I'm happy with it. You know, it's not like, it's like a bad thing. And then like one day he opens, I think it's just the door.
He's just trying to go out. Yeah.
And like he's back in his room. And for a second it took me to like, well, I wonder what's going on here, you know? And then he went back to bed and like, I'm going to go back to sleep. And he wakes up and goes back to the room again. And it's just like, oh fuck, he's stuck in a loop. Yeah. And it just grows from there and it becomes so fucking dope.
He starts trying to break through walls and just goes in any direction. He opens up like curtains to his closet and pops out in another room and he's like coming down from the ceiling. Yeah. And essentially he's stuck in the tatamis and he's thinking about himself and like all the different things that are going on, and he starts to have this weird connection with all of the other realities that he's lived.
Because for the most part, every room is similar, except for like every now and then he'll get to a room like, that's not where it's supposed to be or whatever. Yeah. And like he at first he starts like traveling to different rooms because he starts realizing he doesn't have food. Yeah. So in every room
he's just gathering whatever the fuck he could eat.
And then, you know, he finally starts moving to different rooms. He realizes in every room there is like some sort of cake, I think. That's
a Costello.
Yeah, that Ozu brings him. And he also has like a tin can of like ham fish or something like that. I imagine it being like spam or whatever. And so then that solves his problem for a bit. He goes like, cool, I'm not starving anymore. I'll just go to the next room whenever, you know, I get hungry again. And then that only lasts for so long. And then he starts moving again. He finds like 1,000 yen in a wallet. He's like, cool.
He starts collecting a bunch of money.
I'll just go through every room and collect 1,000 yen and I'll be rich by the time I get out. Yeah. The thing is, like, eventually he goes through so many rooms. He's like, he's like, I'm never going to use this money. It's so fucking stupid. But it's so great because he leaves it in one of the rooms, right? And he just keeps going. And our character, when in that
there
episode,
was a scene,
in that scene where he's trying to buy a brush or whatever. And he's like, oh, I don't got any fucking money. This is the proxy war episode.
Yeah, which essentially the whole deal with this is he's studying under the master, and there's this little group of him, Osu, and the dentist chick, and they're all together, and they're doing just weird shit together, always eating this like absolute trash food in the dark as an experiment, stuff like that. They're like, oh, it tastes so much different in the dark. Who would have thought that beer tastes like this in the dark? Like whatever it is.
Who added this? Yeah, no. Yeah.
And then it expands into this whole other thing where he needs to find a special kind of brush for the master that's like a rumored, fabled brush.
But it costs a bunch of money.
He eventually finds it, costs a shitload of money, can't buy it. He shows up, and then there's the money in his place.
And he's like, what? And he just instantly buys it, like no questioning it.
Yeah.
And it's super cool, you know, that, you know, he found it, you know, like because in this episode, the 10th episode, this version of him collected the money and just left it there by chance.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's other bits where he'll find other things and interact with other peoples, but he starts like, you're right, learning everything about these peoples who live different lives. He was like, there's times where like he finds out like, oh, he joined the cat restaurant or whatever, or like he like, oh, in this one he became really cool friends with the fucking dental hygienist, or, you know, and it's really cool. And then I think I don't remember how this one ends. I think like does he get stuck and not get out until the next one, or does he get out in this one?
He gets stuck.
Okay, yeah. So he's just kind of just going through the motions, and like it looks like he's like defeated. It's pretty sad. It's like it's really like it reminds me a lot of like Castaway, of like, you know, like some sort of like Robinson Crusoe. He's just like
he's just all bearded and like scraggly, and he just looks like he's not doing okay.
Yeah, and then
so it ends. Yeah, and the next episode begins, and it kind of it starts out with him just being like, I've been stuck here for so fucking long. I don't know what to do anymore. I wish I could just like go back and find a way out or something like that. And then instead of doing the intro, it does that rewinding and it shows the outro first, which is perfect because that's what we've been seeing. We finally get to see it this whole time. He's just going in one door and then he's in some other tatami, which is similar to his. And it keeps going into this like crazy galaxy of tatamis. Yeah. And it was so tight. And then it ends and it goes back to him and he's, you know, he's still trying to figure it out. And he talks a little bit more about all the different realities that he's come into and really seen and focused on. And it builds off of that a little bit more. And then he's just like, fuck it, I got to get out. And he's been breaking down doors. And eventually walls. He just crashed through walls as much as possible. And then he gets fucking overwhelmed with moths. They all just kind of show up. He doesn't know how. He breaks through and then he's outside.
No, I think the thing I forgot, I remember the last episode 10, ends with him going full circle. Like he ends up in the room he started off at.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's like, oh, fuck, I can't believe I'm back.
Yeah. And, you know, so, and before he finds the moth, he also does this thing where we have a quick moment where he's like reminiscing about all the people his different lives have met. And he discovers that Ozu has a girlfriend, which is kind of like, he's like, what?
Oh yeah. He finds a phone and he's just like, holy shit. Okay. So I know that he has a girlfriend now.
Why has he been doing all these things? Yeah.
And he figures out the password to his phone is his girlfriend's name.
Yeah.
And, then he's like looking through everything and trying to learn it all. Yeah. And he finds some like fucked up stuff.
He's about trying to send a message. Yeah.
He's trying to help him as much as possible. But he just can't. And then he gets fucking mad and throws the phone. It's like, whatever, fuck it. It was hopeless anyways.
And then he sees like the fucking bear that he's been seeing forever, you know, grabs it, moths show up, and he kind of like falls out the window this time, you know? Yeah. It's not like he breaks a wall. He falls out the window.
No, he crashes out into like the real world again.
And he's just like, he is like bearded up in fucking shit clothes. And
takes a second, looks around, and is just like, there are those people and they're playing with some like fireworks. They're playing with those little like dumb things.
And what's super cool to see like all the characters, all the people that were like there just interacting, like, you know, like passerbys, like their clothes started changing. I was like, oh my God, he's seeing them in all the different, you know, versions of them that they could have been.
Everyone's just switching. They're all changing like forms. Some people, like it'll be one person and then it'll go into like two kids playing and it's a family and it's just one person again. And it just switches everything. Really cool visuals on this one, especially considering that during so many scenes, we had already seen it. We've seen him eat the Costello like 3 or 4 times in the exact same way. We've seen that moth scene over and over of him like looking at the moth and grabbing the bear. Just the same shit again and again in different like places, which is first off, really creative use of using the same scene. It's cheap on the budget, being able to reuse that.
Yeah, it's recycled, but it's well done.
Yeah, exactly. And it's natural for the story, and it's important that they did do it that way to feel connected in this world.
For sure. And so, you know, so here we are. They're doing, I don't know what it's called, but it's something where they'll burn.
It's a festival. They burn a big old like fire
kanji into sides of mountains, and so that's where he's at, right? And so he knows that this is the time. This is in this timeline or whatever. This is where Ozu falls off the bridge. Yeah. So he's like, I'm gonna go save you or whatever, and he does. I mean, kind of. Ozu breaks his leg, falls off the bridge. He's that naked, being said, right?
As he's like racing over, he becomes naked because all of his beard starts falling off and then his clothes start like kind of not even like falling off or ripping away, but like strands of them come off, like pieces at a time. Like it's like unraveling a mummy in a way. But these little strips of clothing are just flying off, and he's fully naked, and he does this heroic jump.
It's crazy, super gnarly. He tries to save Ozu. Ozu's like, I don't even fucking know who you are. It's like, calm down, man. We're best friends.
That being said, Ozu doesn't look like a demon anymore. No, he looks like a regular
person. Yeah, and all the fuck, because he still did horrible things, whatever. He did them for love, in quotations, for his girlfriend or whatever. So we didn't know this out.
We saw a couple of little things where he's stolen a giant blimp,
and we don't know why.
Yeah, but then it shows us like an episode later or something that he was actually stealing it for his girlfriend
because he wanted her to see all 5 mountains while they were burning or whatever.
Yeah, and he was trying to pick her up in it, and it's this whole deal. And then to escape that, he wound up dressing up in that like woman's clothing, outfit, which made him stand out more than it did blend in.
But it made sense in his mind or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, all the characters come together. They take Ozu to the hospital. Everything's kosher, right?
Yeah, everything's all good.
The fucking master guy gives him like a cloth to wrap around his junk. Our girl is freaking out because she saw a billion moths.
And then he gives her the little toy finally.
And then invites her out to get ramen. And she's like, oh, fuck. Like, that's all I've been waiting for.
Which Neko Ramen has been a theme throughout this. It's a mysterious ramen shop. Sometimes it shows up. They might use cats in the broth.
But they don't know.
It's rumored. They don't know. But it tastes fucking amazing. For sure. Everyone wants to go to it. This girl really wants to go there. The guys told her like, oh, yeah, we should go there sometime. Like, I'll take you there. But then never like actually invites her out.
Yeah.
So this is finally the point.
So all you ever needed to do was give her the stuffed doll, invite her to ramen.
Boom.
And he finally does it. And then this is the bit that I really like, actually. This is like one of my favorite parts. So then he goes, you know what? Because he's narrating it. He goes like, I can tell you what happens next or whatever, and tell you like what happens between me and this girl. Like, he goes like, but who wants to hear, like, there's nothing fun in that. Who wants to hear a story about a great relationship that ends up working out, And
then you're like, oh, it winds up working out.
Right, exactly. Because it's super funny because you're just
you don't want to hear about it, but you want to hear that it does work out.
He's like, I'm not going to show you it, but I mean, it's boring if I do because, it all works out for the end. And like, oh, it's so great. So then instead we get like an epilogue for all the other side characters, like people move away, the master guy moves away and he travels the world with the dental hygienist. No, dental hygienist.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was thinking about the other guy.
Yeah, the doll and the president of the movie club, they move away together and they decide to start doing ends up working somewhere else. And, Ozu's in the hospital and like his leg's broken. And then he starts, he goes up there with the raven haired girl and he's just like, hey man, when are you gonna introduce me to your girlfriend? He's like, what? Who told you about that? Blah, blah, and like, he's like, hey man, I'm your best friend. I fucking know everything. And then he has this really demonish looking face.
Yeah. And he starts turning into like the way that Ozu used to look. Yeah. Very weird. Very cool. And I didn't really understand why he started turning that way.
I think it's just because he was teasing him. It's just to show that like, Ozu would tease him also.
Yeah.
But he would only tease him because they're friends or whatever. So he's like, he was just like, oh man, it's like taste of your own medicine kind of thing. Because he's not a bad guy. I guess
that's true. Yeah.
He became he's more chipper at the end. Like, hey man, like we're all having a good time. We're all just fucking friends, and he's got his girl. Ozu got his chick. He's got a broken leg. It's this whole thing. And that's how it ends. It's surprisingly. And I was like, wow. And then isn't the intro play at the end?
The intro plays at the end, which is great because then we get to see again. It's going through the same room over and over because that's what he did. And it makes so much sense. And then not only that, we're also learning about each character in each of those worlds. So it's just like, this is Ozu. This is the master. This is the guy who's in charge of the cinema club. This is that other guy with the teeth. And like, this is the fucking horse. And it just goes through everything.
I think I like the teeth guy the least. I think he was like president of the library club, or he was also like library police, and he was also in charge of like the Cat Eye restaurant or something like that.
Yeah, the secret society.
Yeah. And that's how it ends. And honestly, it was probably one of the best shows I've seen in a while.
Yeah, it was really good.
For me personally, like just like as the kind of stuff that I like to watch. I was like, wow, this is a really good time. I feel like visually it was stunning. The music really liked. It had a great way of telling a story. It's something I haven't seen in a while. I mean, it's things I've seen in the past, like, but they did it so different. I've seen this type of like story being told where it's like some sort of endless loop or whatever. But it works so seamlessly. And was like, this is done so fucking well.
It's not a show that'll make you cry or anything like that, but it's a great show.
Exactly. It's funny because I feel like sometimes I give more credit to shows that make me cry. I'm like, it's such an amazing show, made me cry.
Yeah.
But this show didn't, it's not like it makes you sad, like to the point of tears. It's just like, oh, this is really good. Like, it's a good watch.
So cool. And it's definitely one of those things where it's hefty, watch it in like 2 sittings, I would say, is probably the best.
Yeah,
you separate it with like the first half of just being normal stuff, and then the second half being the like love triangle type, or the 3 different girls going through that same story over and over in the last 2 episodes. So I think watch 6 episodes the first time and then watch the remaining the next.
Yeah. No.
Or maybe it's 5 episodes the first time and 6 the next.
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't really matter. Either way, do 5 or 6 the first time and then finish it up. It's definitely important to do it that way.
If you can watch it all in one sitting, I mean, go for it.
Yeah, I also do it that way.
I couldn't because I had other things to do, but it was for sure worth the watch in my opinion.
It is dense, dude. Yeah. Like, even though it's only a few episodes,
it's a lot of reading.
It was like 3 shows packed into that time period with how much dialogue there is, how many different thoughts and characters, and you're relearning each character every time too, because they're never exactly the same. You're learning totally new shit.
Yeah, because his relationship changes depending on what club he joined or what path he chose in life.
They all have similar personalities, but they're all very different.
Yeah, the relationship. Oh man, it's such a good show. I really like it. Job. Really like it. And
I'm glad we watched this.
Yeah, I am too. I'm glad that we got around to it, and I really like this director. Everything he's done. Yeah, I seem to just really like. I like the style he does, and I like I like the way he just tells a story. I think it's really effective.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah.
Let's for a second reflect on Night is Short, Walk On Girl. We've already talked about it before. Now having the context of the Tatami Galaxy, what do you feel like was better? What do you feel like they improved upon? Just what kind of things like that? Because they're both very surreal. And both very unique, use all the same characters essentially. Yeah. They do a lot of similar stuff, but they're so different.
I don't know, man. Like I want to, because I remember like going into watching this movie, when we watched it, I remember people like saying like, "Oh, it's a Tatami Galaxy thing, and you have to watch this to watch this." Some people were saying that kind of stuff.
You totally don't have to.
No, absolutely. And I still feel that way. I still feel like
you don't have to.
You don't have to.
It adds a little bit. It's kind of cool.
It doesn't make or break the movie, and it honestly doesn't make me like one more than the other. It's just they're both very good in their regards.
Yeah,
I still really like short Night is Short, Walk On Girl, just because I think it's more recent. The animation is just done a lot better.
Cleaner. I mean, it's a movie too, so it's going to be better.
It's easier to watch. There's no narration issues, and there's it's just great. But I feel like seeing the characters in that movie, like the master and the hygienist, and like it is a nice visual treat, and it's pretty fun. That's kind of warm me inside to be like, oh, that's super cool. I mean, there's some really good characters in that movie that I wish would have been in the show. Like, like Don Underwear. Don Underwear would have been super cool.
Or the dad.
Yeah, but we didn't get that. But yeah, I don't know, Trip. I don't think it actually enhances or worsens or does anything to the thing. They're both really good by themselves. Yeah. Knowing that they share, this universe is cool, but it doesn't change anything in my opinion.
Not at all.
I think they're both really solid.
Yeah, they did just a fantastic job with both of them. I think that it's super cool to be able to see both. So those of you that are able to get through all of the Tatami Galaxy, like it's the kind of movie for you. Watching Tatami Galaxy, the right show for you. Watching Night is Short, Walk On Girl, your experience is going to be a little bit enhanced. That being said, if it's not the right show for you, you are still going to like Night is Short, Walk On Girl.
Yeah, watch the movie for sure.
That movie, I think the movie is for everybody, or almost everybody rather.
Yeah.
While the Tatami Galaxy, it's more difficult. It's not necessarily for everyone.
No, yeah, for sure. But they're both really good.
Totally. I had a great time with them. I think I prefer Night is Short, Walk On Girl.
I think so too.
Because it's just an easier watch.
You can sink into it. Yeah. And it's so much, it's a movie. It's shorter. It's newer. The quality of the animation is better.
Yeah.
Surprisingly though, I would say that the animation for this other one does hold up pretty well.
It holds up so well.
Because the thing that's, I think, more recent than Tatami Galaxy, it might even be the movie is, Devilman.
Yeah.
I think it's newer than that movie, right?
Maybe.
Point is, that animation style or whatever, it's still really
it's
good.
It's solid. It holds up.
I feel like, wow, it's just like you can see like the guy knows what he's doing and he does it well. So I really like his shit. And in this universe where they do the thing and they eat super big foods and just swallow it down.
See, that works.
And then and I do understand why you don't like that in Devilman, but in my head I'm like, I dig it.
I mean, it's a cool thing. Don't get me wrong. The animation,
but it does take you out
great.
Because everything's so serious, right? You're like,
yeah, everything's serious in Devilman. Even the shit that's like crazy doesn't actually like
matter.
This would never happen. It's demon shit. Like whatever. People are changing into giant monsters. That's all like, okay, yeah, well, it's monster demon shit, so that gets a pass. But when it's regular ass person doing a weird ass food eating thing, that takes me out of it.
In a quotations, normal universe setting ish thing. I get what you're saying.
And in Tatami Galaxy, where they're like, this just shows up. Sometimes it's mysterious. They use cats as broth. That's like one of the first things that happens. And
they're like, cool. Yeah. It's
like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm down.
Or like in the Night of Short Walk on Girl, when they eat those really spicy meat and stuff.
Yeah, that.
Ooh, man, what a good bit.
They even just like, they drink a lot in that, and then it does that like effect, I think. And Night of Short Walk on Girl.
If they pound the drink, that like it'll go down really heavy. I also really like the fact, like just character design wise, I love the fact that a lot of the characters are pale. You know, just like not like skin tone, they're just white.
Yeah,
and then when
it was pretty cool.
And then when they drink, they'll just turn pink. I'm like, I'm like, nice.
And they kept that effect for Night of Short Walk on Girl, which I thought was really cool. Also, I liked the little tie-in too with the girl that drinks a lot from Night of Short Walk on Girl. She can like handle it forever. She's totally good. Not our main character girl, but like the side girl who can do that.
The dental hygienist.
Yeah. So in the Tatami Galaxy, as the dental hygienist, she's also able to just fucking hold her liquor like a fucking champion.
And what's cool is
I like that crossover.
I remember like in the movie, I'm like, I thought she was supposed to be able to handle her liquor, and then I realized, oh, she's getting sick. She's getting a fever.
Yeah, exactly.
She's completely red and steaming. I was like, I'm like, oh no, that's my mistake.
Yeah,
bitch can drink. So.
I fucking love that movie. Love this show.
Yep,
just good shit all around. This director, he's done so much good stuff. Like we were saying before, Devilman, Crybaby, Ping Pong, the animation, Mind Game, so much more.
Yeah, check out his stuff. I'm gonna check out whatever is left over that I haven't seen from him, because I so far really like what he does. So that's the show, right? Next week we're going to be going to Crunchyroll Expo.
Whoa, where's that at?
Santa Rosa. San Diego. San Jose.
Yeah.
Is it in San Jose?
It's in San Jose.
I thought it was in Santa Rosa.
Yeah, no, we're going to San Jose. Crunchyroll Expo. We haven't been to Crunchyroll Expo before.
No, this is actually they're only their second time. Year. Yeah. We couldn't go to the first one because
reasons.
Yeah,
sure,
stuff.
Whatever. Who
but
knows?
The second one we're for sure going to go to, and we don't know what to expect because we've never been.
I'm very excited. You know, we went to SAC Anime more recently. That was in winter of this year.
Yeah.
And then we went to Anime Expo this year, which was just an absolute blast. We love Anime Expo. It's got such cool stuff. And SAC Anime is a bit smaller. So we're expecting anything in between, you know?
Yeah, something. Yeah, exactly. Because like, I know they're going to have people there that are like, you know,
they've got
fan favorites and stuff, but I imagine them to do some industry things, nothing too crazy, you know, because a lot of industry stuff happened at, Anime Expo. So
which was pretty recent.
Which is not that long ago. So
about 2 months.
I'm interested to see what happens. And, so I know I'm going for sure for the first day.
I'm going to try to hit up as much as I can. 2-3 days.
Yeah. So
it's 3 days for sure.
Yeah. We'll have an episode next week about that. And then after that, we'll work on something special for you guys.
It's true.
Probably Sword Guy Part 2.
Probably that. I don't know. Or they're going to be like, I don't know, here's a movie suddenly.
And then we watch it.
You want to check out this cool show? Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, totally.
Cool. Okay, so that's the episode. If you like our logo, hit up Erin from TurbyTops.com. She's a great person to work with. If you like our theme song, our new theme song, because it's working, right? Yes. Yeah. Check out Tom Nasser, NASR. He's on SoundCloud. He's on YouTube. He's living in Ohio State. He's a Buckeye. Go Buckeyes. Trip, where can people find us?
People can find us on Facebook. If you want to look up the Instant Ramen Podcast, you could find us there. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. If you want to send us a tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast didn't fit.
And you could go ahead and shoot us an email, instantramenpodcast@gmail.com. Tell us what you think about stuff or what you don't want to think about. Just whatever you want to tell us, you can tell us it.
For sure. So this is bye from Juan.
I'll see you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water. All right, welcome back to After the Episode.
Oh, yeah.
So, essentially, I was going to make this big-ass joke about, like, oh, man, I wish we did this different. Like, I wish I could just go back and record another episode. And then, because I thought of this after we stopped recording, and I'm like, Juan,
hit record.
Can you record for me again?
And I did.
It overlapped our episode. Okay, so we lost fucking everything you just listened to. We lost the whole goddamn thing.
No, we didn't lose everything. We lost everything that I said.
We lost everything Juan said. For some reason, I still existed. And we're like, what the fuck? Because I was really confused. My audio was the bottom track. Yours was the top.
I know.
And we lost the bottom track, but I still existed. Mm-hmm. The internet didn't know how to help us. We did some like fucking weird ass drag and dropping backwards ass shit. Undo wouldn't function.
What's funny is that, you know, when you fuck up, you're like, oh, it's cool. You hit Control Z.
Yeah.
We hit Control Z. And they're like, oh, it's not working. Oh, hit the other way. And we did the thing where like you cancel it out. So it's like, no matter what you do, you're fucked. So we found it though. We figured it out.
It all worked.
What's funny is I'm just like, Trip, this better have been important. This
bit better have been important. Yeah.
I didn't know if it was a bit. I didn't know if it was a piece of news.
Well,
I was like,
it better have been worth it.
Yeah. And then you're like, and you tell me what the bit was. And it was like, you were going to do this to Tatami Galaxy, but you're like, hey man, we should just do it all over again.
Yeah, I just wish I could have done it all differently. And then I was going to put in the sound effect and put all the like audio in reverse and shit. And because it's an easy thing to do. So I was like, might as well just do this bit. Sure. Why the fuck not? And then I love that it got fucked up immediately. And then I'm sitting there thinking like, we're going to have to record this whole thing over again. I didn't actually mean it. Like I didn't say it yet, but in my head, I was like, this is what I'm going to say. And then specifically it's like, oh fuck, that's what we have to do. I don't actually. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to us, you guys.
Look, man, it was, if the bit would have been worth it, is what I'm trying to say.
The bit would have been.
It would have been so worth it. So yeah, so I'm glad that we lost the audio for all of 5 minutes and just decided to cry in your room. So
I'm so fucking happy right now.
Cool guys, this is it. Bye from Juan.
See ya, guys.
Later.
Bye.